Long after leaving old Earth behind, humanity scattered its final hopes across colonies spread throughout space. Life wasn't easy. And when something from outside threatened to disrupt what was already hanging by a thread, courage and loyalty stopped being noble virtues. They became a matter of survival. In this world, there was no manual, no easy answers. Either you adapted or you fell behind. And here, only those who held on tight lived to see another day. It all began when an alien ship approached another spacecraft with almost no warning. Inside, a little girl ran in fear, locking herself in a room as if the small latch could keep the entire universe out. Moments later, her father arrived, pounding desperately on the door. The girl hesitated, unsure whether to open it or stay hidden, when suddenly her mother appeared on a nearby screen. Her face was tense, her voice firm. Under no circumstances was she to open the door. Then came the sound. A deep, feral roar filled the hallway. Seconds later, her father was gone. Her mother tried to keep her composure, calling her daughter strong and brave, before she too met the same fate. The girl, Olivia, slid down the wall, silent tears running down her face, her heart racing, her world collapsing around her. Time passed. 2 decades, and a few years later, Olivia was no longer that scared child. She awoke each day to the constant hum of white noise on the planet Ekiti, a place where the skies looked painted and the trees seemed faker than mall decorations. In her small room, she often stared at an old photo of her parents. One morning, Mira, her boyfriend's daughter, walked in, thirsty, holding a glass. They sat together as Olivia showed her their location on a glowing holographic map. Curious, Mira asked where her friend Lucas was, then about her own mother. Olivia quietly pointed out there was no marker for her. Later, as Olivia got ready for work, Ander stopped by. He asked if she'd consider living with them. She thanked him, but declined. Her contract had only 3 months left, and after that, she planned to return to Earth. She promised nothing beyond that, though she hinted she might visit one day. Not long after, she passed a public notice board where a boy approached, curious about Earth. He asked if animals truly existed there. Olivia pointed to a nearby synthetic tree, describing real trees, how leaves swayed in the wind, how sunlight poured through the branches, how animals ran and hid beneath them. The boy stood quietly, lost in imagination, picturing a world he'd never seen. At the control room, Olivia met Arlo. She asked about some stacked boxes, and he explained a new system was being installed. She barely had time to sip her coffee when the communicator beeped. It was Mira, her voice shaky, begging Olivia to either move in with them or bring everyone back to Earth. Olivia was firm. Returning to Earth wasn't on the table. She tried to comfort Mira, but the call ended abruptly. That's when alarms blared, followed by an explosion shaking the entire base. Arlo suggested sending a general warning. Even amidst chaos, he worried about the injured. Olivia, colder, argued that forming too many attachments could cost them dearly. The cameras were down, so no one knew where the problem began. Olivia left to investigate. Arlo soon spotted a terrifying sight, a strange ship hovering outside like a predator choosing its next meal. When Olivia returned, they sealed Sector 5, the likely landing point, and checked the live feeds. Nothing but darkness. Tracking systems soon revealed a trail of bodies. Olivia wasted no time. She ordered a full lockdown, telling everyone to run to the nearest shelter. She called Mira, instructing her to stay in Sector 2, and warned Ander to do the same. But even reinforced security doors couldn't stop the intruders. They tore through Sector 5's gate like it was paper. Olivia and Arlo exchanged grim looks. This wasn't human. She ordered Sectors 1, 2, and 3 to fall back to Shelter 2, and 4 and 5 to Shelter 1. No one was leaving until they got the green light. But Jorge had other plans. He wanted to fight. Arlo, realizing the enemy wasn't human and they had no real weapons, urged retreat. Olivia hesitated. Fighting might buy time for others to escape, but Jorge refused to back down. Arlo gave him quick instructions. The fight ended quickly and brutally. Jorge's entire team was wiped out before they knew what hit them. The control room fell into tense silence. Arlo, angry now, demanded Olivia open more shelters. She refused. Protocol was law. When he tried to override it, she locked him out of the system. Then came the noise. Low, guttural, inhuman. They froze. Desperate cries for help echoed through the halls, then faded, one by one, until silence returned like a heavy fog. Arlo soon discovered the fire department personnel were all gone. Olivia, without hesitation, ordered all shelters sealed. Arlo protested there were still people outside, but she was blunt. Better to save some than lose everyone. Shelter 1's doors closed. Olivia ran to secure Shelter 2. Mira made it inside but hesitated, waiting for her parents. That pause cost them everything. The door stayed open. An intruder slipped in like a storm, killing everyone inside. Arlo's parents, Ander, and all the others. Only Olivia and Arlo survived, shattered. Arlo collapsed, broken by loss. Olivia, silent, whispered an apology, pointing out at least one intruder was trapped in Shelter 1. But there was no time to grieve. Another call warned that the main shelter would be breached soon. Olivia lied over the loudspeaker, telling everyone they had 2 hours when in reality, they had only one, just to keep panic down. She called Arlo for help. He didn't respond, paralyzed by grief. Olivia reminded him lives depended on them. Mira asked about her father. Olivia said he was safe in Shelter 1. Arlo demanded to know why she lied. She snapped. It was what Mira needed to hear. When Arlo began listing names of those trapped outside, describing who they were, what they meant to the colony, Olivia's walls began to crack. In the end, she agreed to help, but in her own way. They started with their closest contacts. Bashir was first, hiding in the old church. Olivia promised to guide him to the control room. He asked about his son, the boy trapped in Shelter 1. Arlo lied, saying he was safe. Next was Nicho. Olivia tasked him with escorting 2 injured survivors. He hesitated, doubting himself, but she convinced him with a promise of cover. Flores and Patel, a couple expecting a child, were trapped in the mines. Arlo activated cameras to guide them out. Burr volunteered to climb the radio tower to restore contact with Earth. On his way, he crossed paths with the couple. Patel handed him a homemade grenade before moving on. Bashir reached the tower. Flores made it to the control room. Meanwhile, Nicho found the wounded Camo and Lup, but they were too injured to move. Olivia told him to stay put. Then, a sudden intruder approached BER. With no options left, Olivia changed plans, ordering Nicho to lure the creature away, even if it meant sacrificing himself. He agreed. Bashir reached the tower. Flores entered the control room. Olivia tried explaining to Arlo that leadership sometimes meant choosing the lesser evil. Finally, Burr finishes repairing the communication tower. Olivia runs to call headquarters, practically begging for reinforcements. But the reply is like a bucket of cold water. Several colonies are under attack at the same time. No help will come, at least not now. The order is clear: survive with whatever resources they have. The nearest backup would take 17 hours to arrive. Soon after, Bashir notices the invader approaching. Seeing no escape, he pulls out the grenade Patel gave him earlier. The explosion takes them both, the man and the creature. Back at the shelter, Mia notices a strange yellow glow near the door. Olivia tells her to retreat, assuring her help is on the way. Meanwhile, Patel does the math coldly. With the oxygen left on the Renaissance ship, only 3 people could make the trip. For passengers would last just 13 hours. Flores suggests leaving Arlo behind. The argument turns bitter fast. Patel and Flores agree on the plan, but Olivia refuses. For her, Arlo has already proven he deserves a seat. Flores loses her patience and lunges at Arlo, trying to push him out. Left with no choice, Olivia activates the timer to release the monster trapped in Shelter 1, hoping its attention will shift toward Patel. She warns him of the danger, but Flores ignores everything, forcing Olivia to open the door. Chaos erupts. Arlo and Flores fight while the intruder breaks in, followed closely by Patel. Flores fires but misses. The creature doesn't forgive. Patel tries to use another explosive, but fails. He dies too. Olivia locks herself in a nearby room, clutching an explosive, waiting for the perfect moment. The door shatters. The creature steps in. Then Arlo, bleeding, barely standing, appears and opens fire. The creature turns toward him. That's when Olivia throws the explosive. The room erupts. The monster turns to dust. Exhausted, Olivia rushes to Arlo, but his wounds are severe. He makes her promise to save the others. Before she can reply, a second intruder appears. Olivia freezes. Using a white noise device, she keeps herself calm, realizing it confuses the creature. But the device is destroyed within seconds. Knowing there's no way back, Arlo tells Olivia to run. He sacrifices himself so she can escape. Wounded and trembling, she stumbles toward the hangar. But another invader attacks before she can reach the exit. With the last of her strength, she fights back, sets the final explosive, and destroys the creature. She almost makes it out but stops. Memories of Ander, Mia, and her promise to Arlo hold her back. Then she hears Mia calling her. Olivia swears she'll find her, to prove there's still beauty out there. New worlds, new chances, a fresh start. Determined, she heads for the shelter. Inside, she activates the white noise to distract the monsters and crosses the corridor, planting the last set of explosives. She's almost through when the communicator lights up. Help is finally on the way. But the noise has also drawn another creature. Olivia detonates the charge at the last second. The explosion shakes the entire base. Minutes later, Rescue arrives, leading the survivors to the escape ship. Mia asks about Shelter 1. No one has come from there. She walks away, ignoring the wreckage, searching desperately. On the ground, she finds an old, yellowed photo. Olivia as a child. Convinced she's alive, Mia alerts the soldiers. They search. Olivia echoes through the air. Then a movement. It's her. Olivia wounded, exhausted but alive. Mia runs to her friend, tears streaming down her face. Olivia opens her eyes. No words, just an embrace, as if the rest of the world has vanished. The medical team rushes in to treat her. For the first time in a long time, everything feels safe. The nightmare is finally over. And the film ends. So that's it. Hope you enjoy the story. Subscribe and press the bell icon for more videos.